You're all going to f*** up. It's just, I wanted to call this book You're Fucked Up, and I still like it. But they wouldn't let me.
Great subtitle.
15 degrees of Scorpio in astrology is considered the number of the avatar in the human condition. And your soul is 15 degrees of Scorpio.
Wait, so explain that another way.
Okay. My gift is to penetrate the veneer, go underneath the hood, and then look at the fine tuning and see what was the agreement he made. Because you're exercising your free will this life to deal with suffering. The 13th sign is where you're living right now. You're really letting yourself become so aware with no agenda.
That's what I feel, complete freedom, complete acceptance.
And you let yourself be triggered. Don't walk over it. That's the worst thing you could do. And then about 5 minutes later, you go, I just totally reacted. And then you get a smile on your face. I'm not going to pretend I'm so spiritual that I'm not a bitch. I don't want to say that I'm not disappointed. That's the danger of the new age. That's the danger of taking medicine. That's why we drink. Get this feeling off me.
Tell me how you were inspired to write the book. And the title is phenomenal. I don't believe in astrology. I mean, it's so gangster.
I didn't want to write it. Acceptance of the human condition. How do you find your tendency of your personality? Like yours is to get super intense and controlling. Mine is to detach and go, I don't care. Like a little detached, little stupid air sign. See any people?
I can't do that.
No, you cannot. So this is the mastery of the high road of astrology is your self-awareness starts by studying your personality propensity. And you see it lifetime in your marriage. You see it lifetime everywhere. And then all of a sudden you'll know because this little smile comes out and you go, that's so cute. I'm such a wreck. Okay, let's do a prayer. Ready?
Yeah.
Just a few breaths in your own rhythm. Just imagine yourself really sinking into the chair and your whole nervous system just came to peace. Another deep breath whenever you're ready. And breathe out presence. So we invoke the powers that be and the invisible guides that follow us around and brought us into this moment. And we ask for your blessing and your presence, that this encounter be generative and healing and soothing and stimulating, all in the name of consciousness evolving because we're here. And so it is. Oh.
Thank you for that. You know, I've heard a lot about you over the last couple of years, and they undersell you. You're just like such a light and so funny, and just the engagement.
Thank
and
you.
As I said when I met you for the first time in person 10 minutes ago, I feel like we became best friends earlier today on that phone call. That was, oof. I mean, I know you've had this experience before, but I, in my entire life, have never felt as seen as I felt today. I can't describe it. Like, I feel like only you really understand because you're in the work, and even today I will probably try to describe it to people, but until you've had a lived experience of what it is, it doesn't have to land for other people either. Like I'm not attached to that. And it's like just to understand that how fucking hard things have been. And many people just feel like I've been fortunate and lucky and all those things. And not that I haven't deserved some of the stuff. It's not like that, but I just couldn't explain. And even my wife, Peyton, just can't, like, what, my friends, like, what are you searching for? You have everything. It's like, you don't understand. Why do you keep doing the plant medicine? Why do you do this? Why are you going to the men's group? Why are you trying all of the things? I wanted it to make sense. Your
new answer is I'm a double Scorpio.
And they'll be like...
So we need to tell the audience that I did a reading this morning, which I rarely do, but I have certified astrologers that I've trained. And so I hardly ever give them. But what happened today was my gift is to penetrate the veneer, like to go underneath the hood and then look at the fine tuning and see what was the agreement he made? What was his soul's promise? And then put words to it. And so when someone's been articulating a part of your psyche, that because you are a secret keeper, it's not what you present is definitely a strong personality with a strong physical presence. And underneath that little moon in Cancer and your double Scorpio is like, shh, They don't get it because you're exercising your free will this life to deal with suffering. That was your unconscious choice that you signed for. I will deal with suffering for the human condition, even though my outer personality looks completely fun and having a party and he's just so interested. But the deeper part of your promise is that you agreed this life, that you would actually touch what it meant to be addicted, scared, dealing with fear that you can't talk about, secretive.
Oof.
And those are things that people, it's triple water in my language. So in astrology, there's 4 elements and you are 100% water, but the rest of your chart's all fire, 4 planets in Sag. So the presentation, how you seem to the world is vivacious and fun and adventuresome and philosophical and big and money and everything's big. And then underneath, there's this guy going, like, what do you complain? I don't know. So you can't tell anyone because the contrast is as big as a ping pong match.
Which we're going to have after this.
Yes, please.
Yes.
So thank you for letting me in so quickly that you allowed me to penetrate your veneer, the outer, and we entered into a sacred space as we are doing now with the intention of raising the frequency. This planet's suffering. There's a lot of density that doesn't seem to be easy to move through. It really requires a determination of a soul. And you have that double Scorpio. Nothing's going to stop you.
That's what I felt in a lot of people recently, because I've spent time with a fair amount of people. I've been very outgoing lately, which I have times, but there are times where I go into a like, I don't want to see anybody because I have so much shame about what I'm feeling and why should I feel. And so I've been much more open, and everyone's like, what? You're on a new, what's going on?
You just had a transition, as I described last year, Saturn square Saturn. So there are seasons, and you're in a reaping. The fruits come out of the trees, but you had to go in and suffer. And every 7-year cycle that I mentioned, the first one, 2001, then 2008, these are all very clear in astrology. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that astrology is filled with jargon. So many, not to say I don't love all those astrologers, but my job is how fast can I penetrate? This is very Scorpio. How fast can I penetrate the illusion of what the mind wants me to talk about and enter into your heart and see where the suffering is?
We didn't cover 2022. We kind of did, but that was, we had a major family crisis. Major.
That may not have shown up in your chart, but in one of your children's.
Yeah.
But those are those storylines that hit us. There's many, everyone listening to this has some story where the kid or the divorce or the finance or something, and it's in the chart for that person. So the ones I touched today were yours.
Yeah.
But if there was a child who was there having their life lesson that obviously affected you, that would be a year.
Well, it was interesting because it was 2001, 2008, 2015. We didn't talk about 22, but that was 7 years later.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good catch.
And then you had shared with me about when someone turns 45. Can you talk about that a bit? In the Kabbalistic,
so there's many schools of mysticism, and one of them is the Kabbalah. It's ancient Judaism, and they don't let you start studying it to your mid-40s. You're not allowed to come into the sacred temple of the mystical, magical until you've really done the practical world, until you've gotten your hands dirty and you've had your heart broken. And then the door opens for the spiritual door, which is the older soul, the Sagittarius begins. It's all Sages prosper from 45 on. And when you've got 4 planets in Sag. And that is simply the part in all of us that gets exhausted by the unbelievable ego battering and all the symptoms of what it was to win and then lose, be married and then be divorced, success and then failure. And then at 45, you're like, hold on, I'm ready to ask the really big questions. What am I supposed to be learning? Yeah. Like, were you talking to me? Is that why all this drama is happening? And at the entrance of that midlife, 42 is when there's Uranus opposite Uranus, something shifts. 45, the spiritual door opens. If you're prone, which your chart screams, I'm hungry for all the answers.
That was the Las Vegas shooting I was at 45.
I know that story was shocking.
Yeah. It woke me up for the first time.
But notice as a double Scorpio what it takes to wake you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing. It's not subtle.
No.
You go for the biggest story you can find.
Yeah.
I'm not that way. I'm so sensitive. I'm like, you can knock and I'll listen. Don't hit me. I'm always saying, don't hit me. I don't need an alarm clock. Just, I made a deal with life. And I said, if you want my attention, please don't hurt me. I made it very clear, but you're built for intensity.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, the little knock at the door, the rapping at the door, it just doesn't
The whispers.
work. No. And I look back and I was like, he was trying to tell me, but I wasn't listening. I was hard-headed or whatever. I had my thoughts about what it was, what I was meant to do.
I think that was so clear today about your thoughts. You have something in your chart that's actually happening today. It's once in a year. Mercury is the mind in astrology. In the tarot deck, it's the magician, how the mind is the determining factor of everything when it's under the service to the soul. Mm-hmm. But when it's running all by itself, it's dangerous. So Mercury is the mind. You were born with Neptune, the planet of the mystic, standing on top of your mind saying, hold on, don't let your mind get so caught in the fantasy world of this reality. Rather, come up here, which is what medicine does and meditation does and cold and hot water and any altered states, drugs. You're tempted because you're like, okay, let's go up there.
Yeah.
That's really what you're prone to. Now, the bad side is addiction.
Yes.
It's so much nicer up there. And the good side is the mystic. Like realizing, wait, this is for everyone to hear. This reality is so compulsively stubborn. This is reality. And then you take medicine, you go, wait, that's not the way, this is not what it appears to be as truth. And then you shatter your old stuck mind. And one of your gifts this life is that you have the ability to let your mind soften with training, to start entertaining alternate ways of seeing things that we are prone to have to hear from you so we can get inspired. That's where you live. And the downside is you could be a space cadet off planet and addicted.
Yeah.
And the upside is you can start getting the formula that's in that box, all the codes. You'll get all the codes and want to give it to everybody.
Yes. And that's how that's so true. Like I love like anything that is working for me. You're going to share it.
That's 4 planets in Sag. You're the one of those generous, but you had to learn from it the hard way. You got to it the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I tried just about everything. And a lot of people don't understand that. And for me, I'm like, I want to be the tip of the spear for my people so that I can go be on the frontier and say, hey, this works or this, it just don't, you're good. You don't need to try this. Like it didn't quite work like I thought it would.
And I'm a minimalist. We're opposite. Where you've tried everything, it takes a little bit, teeny tiny splices of all these medicines that are handed to us this life. And I get it. And then I go home. You want a little more.
Yes.
And then a little more.
Yeah.
Until you learn to be moderate. That was the lesson.
That's it. I go to the edge and then and then sometimes I swing back all the other way and then I find that balance.
That's the art of this life. But for someone with 4 planets in the Sag, double Scorpio, your moderate is so different than my little Gemini. Yeah. I just do things small. What's given me the gift, because I'm almost 70, and what's given me the gift of youth is I just minimize. And I've known that loss since I was very young.
Tell me about that.
Just eat less, drink less, exercise just to the right amount before you're spent. Learn how to just take a breath and calmly ask yourself, do I really want to eat that? Do I really need to go do that? And then check in, because some of you, if you're you, Cal, you have to go do everything to the extreme. Mm-hmm. But I had to pay attention to my inner rhythm, and it's really given me a gift of a calm nervous system.
It's interesting because I feel like for just about my entire life, I've lived that way. And then the last 6 weeks, 2 months, I've had that discernment of moderation with food, with having to be a part of certain things. I've been out there, but I've said no to so many things that I would normally say yes. Like, and my wife, Peyton, would often be like, do you have any discernment? I know you want to try all these things, but like, when are you gonna? Again,
it was a acquired skill. You've learned it, though. I feel this so strong for you, and there's a lot of people in this story. We're turning a corner as a collective. Things are going to get really bad for mainstream, And what's occurred for us in the government as we used to have it, because I grew up in the time when the government was really our friend, so we thought, it's gone.
Mhm.
So there's a definite dismantling. For some of us, we're like, I love this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm not bound by the expectations of my family, of what I was supposed to be, of being married, being single, having children, having all that stuff. So for some of us, we're like, this is finally permission to reduce the attention of the approval of socializing, of being part of the group. Like, it's unusual. I'm having the same experience. And it's only been, as things get worse for some, it's getting really good for others. And that's something to be careful about, because the peacefulness that comes for me while I'm watching, because I never take my eye off my family, the collective. I keep my eye on the news. I pay attention to the rhythms. I watch people. I hear stories. And then I come back to my own rhythm, which is, this is just a story. It's a dream.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on the dream, but come home. And you know how to do that now. But it took all the mistakes.
All of them.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's true for me. It's not to say that just because I've been a minimalist that I haven't made so many mistakes that I've now turned into. This is my new book. The last chapter of the new book is called The 13th Sign. It's no astrology at all. It's so funny. The last chapter says, so now that you've read all about your ego, let's just drop that.
Let's talk about the book, by the way.
Yeah. The 13th sign is where you're living right now, is you're really letting yourself become so aware with no agenda.
Yeah.
So you keep paying attention rather than being compulsive or addicted. And that is, the 13th sign is so liberating.
That's what I feel, complete freedom, complete acceptance to what is happening. And I was even sharing with someone the other day, like, you can imagine someone sees me and they're like, ooh, there's something there for me. And they'll try to use me or whatever, right? They'll try to leverage their relationship with me for their betterment. And there would be a time in the past where I'd be like, fuck that guy. Like, he's just out for his own good. And now I see that with love. It's like, I get it. Like, you're trying to feel better about anything in your life. And you think that I might be able to help you. And it's so hard for, you feel that struggle. And it's so uncomfortable to approach me because on some level, I see through your bullshit, but you still have the courage to do it because you'll do anything to feel better. And it's like, I see everything so differently now.
They call that compassion.
Well, I feel like I finally tapped into it. And it's not like, oh, I should really feel bad for that guy. Or it's like, I just see it now. I can't not see it.
It's what I was saying this morning in the reading. You're really operating out of your soul. And the soul has no agenda. It's not as reactive. The ego, he was pushing your buttons. Why does he want from me? Don't you know that I can't give to everybody? Like, and the soul goes, I guess you're needy and how cute you are. That's the 13th sign. It reduces all the judgments. So you can look right at someone you hate and disagree. Now, this is a high road. And if they're really triggering you and you let yourself be triggered, don't walk over it. That's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
Stay with the human condition. And then about 5 minutes later, you go, I just totally reacted. And then you get a smile on your face and there's this freedom that happens. And you look back and go, now I get exactly why he did that. He was in need. And I got triggered by his neediness because secretly I'm in need.
Yeah.
And everybody's in need to have the world according to their. So what freedom? And it's so funny to say that. It feels so funny that the last chapter is where I turn off the ego's attention and say, now let's remember that there's a place where you're a dreamer.
Yeah.
This is you're not going to remember this in the morning, by the way.
Right.
And your last lifetime, you don't remember that either. And who was your last wife? Oh God, was it the kid? Was it my sister? I don't know. We have zero memory.
Yeah.
So we may as well enjoy this slippery slope. Like, it's so funny how the mind can't remember. And that when you're on medicine, all these downloads come in and explain the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get to the other side. That's what happens on the other side. This whole dream becomes like a really good film. And explanations are presented to you to say, this is who that person was. And that's why that had to happen. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it makes all so much sense. And the practice of getting ready for that is to get into the 13th sign before we leave here. So how do I live in a place of neutrality? Curious how I ended up here today, how we met before, what we didn't meet before, how all the stars had to align and who's organizing it.
Yeah.
You get to find that out on the other side.
Yeah. Tell me how you were inspired to write the book. And the title is phenomenal. I don't believe in astrology. I mean, it's so gangster.
I know. That's what I found out from Blue of Earth, that I was the old G. I was like, I am. It's very gangster. I wrote it to tell the truth. I didn't want to write it. I was resistant because I had already written a book, and it's a very big deal. It's a really big process, years. And I was like, eh. And then my best friend called me out, because that's what she is. And she was like, if you're not going to leave your legacy on astrology because you just don't want to do it, I'm going to challenge you. And I was like, shit, my legacy on astrology after almost 50 years, I guess so then I did a prayer. And I said, if you can make it fun and easy, I'm in. But I'm not doing the heavy lifting. I'm not spending 100 years being really stressed. And then I met this woman who was supposed to be a ghostwriter, but we became partners. I don't know about the ghost thing.
Yeah.
And she had 4, like you have 4 planets in Sag, the philosopher, the seeker, the spiritual. She had 4 planets in Aquarius. She was a genius. She's written all of these bestsellers as a ghost writer. Anyways, so she took all my classes, studied all my material like a genius.
Wow.
She's to shout out to you, Eve. And then we laughed. Like we would do these meetings. You can imagine how much time you spend with that person. Yes. And for some reason, you know how there's chemistry? Well, she and I had the tickle thing, which was really, so there was the fun factor. Yeah. And she did a lot of the heavy lifting. She's Capricorn rising. And then she told me I couldn't call her a ghostwriter because I read every single sentence and had to edit out. I did not let her write the book.
Yeah.
So it was actually a very creative process. The last chapter is my favorite. Did I say that already? And I love the beginning of the book because there's so many astrology books out there. Mm-hmm. So you're going to read about Scorpio, which is so intense. Do you know about Scorpio? That's what a whole podcast could be on Scorpio.
By the way, you asked me that at the very beginning of the reading, do you speak astrology? And I was like, well, okay, you don't. I'll speak English. So like, do I know about Scorpio? Yes, but I can't recite it. Like when someone says it's like, oh yeah, I remember all that. But that's the thing. I don't remember shit like that.
This is so interesting what I'm about to tell you. 15 degrees of Scorpio in astrology is considered the number of the avatar in the human condition. For some reason, 15 degrees of that particular position in the sky, and your soul is 15 degrees of Scorpio.
Wait, so explain that another way.
Okay. Okay, so there are certain markers in the sky that are put in place by a matrix that was probably based on a higher intelligence, obviously higher intelligence, that orchestrated this architecture of the human condition brought to us by the 12 signs. And they are very dependable. They're very consistent. I have one set of videos that have hit 8 million views because I did 5-minute vignettes of each sign. And they were so accurate that they went viral because those personality traits are absolutely absolute. So let's start with Scorpio. So Scorpio, which is one of my favorite signs of the zodiac, the only sign that has 3 symbols, the snake, the underbelly of the psyches I described, devious, self-destructive, has an energy that wants to hurt itself, such a strange thing, has a very secretive, because it lives under the world. Then there's the eagle, 3 symbols, the eagle who can fly straight into the light. An eagle has yellow eyes because it can tolerate huge amounts of light. However, the eagle flies way above and doesn't want to touch that snake. So they're avoidant. Scorpios that don't want to do drugs and they don't want to do sex and they're extremists. They become, I have to be super clean. They go off planet. And then the 3rd symbol is the phoenix, who goes from the ashes of the snake to the height where the eagle is and has no fear or no preference for wherever they are. I'll go up, I'll get high, I'll go down, I'll feel the emotion, I'll go up, I'll get high, they have this 8 symbol of eternity. So Scorpio has the highest voltage. I mean, I could do really an hour on this, of capacity as a human to eat the poison of the human condition and lift it up, and then eat the poison. Like the eagle has this straight into the light, and then the snake going down into hell, and then the phoenix going, okay, I have no preference. What do you want of me, spirit, life, up or down? And I will not do lukewarm.
Yeah, at all. By the way, side note, not surprising at all. In 2015, when I was having those challenges that we had talked about.
When Saturn was in Scorpio?
The team, I told you I owned a team in the professional fitness league. It was the Phoenix Rise.
That's what you are. You're Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
Scorpio Rising.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean about you. Some people, and this is really true of your chart, and I don't know how many of us have this, but you have this in spades. Spirit uses you This is Neptune on your Mercury. Your mind gets informed without you consciously knowing it. So you're in the right place at the right time.
Mhm.
You meet that cool person. Suddenly you're being moved out. You have to go into recluse. You're going to be pulled away and you listen. And then you come back out. Now you're producing and then you follow these rhythms without having any, that probably had on your wife because you are so willing to let spirit have her way with you.
Very, very hard, especially as Vegas happened and I went on this, like for 18 months, this deep existential inquiry where I just let spirit guide. And she looked at it like, who are these motherfuckers you're letting guide you, right? Because there was someone there that was opening the door for me. And I couldn't explain it because I didn't know. And it was terrifying to her. She's like, am I losing you? Who are you? And I'm like, I'm trying to be a better version of me. And her response, everything you do is just so intense. Extreme. I swear to God.
Of course. Yeah. That's double Scorpio. So this is really a valuable conversation. The planet is in a scorpionic cycle because we are shedding. Scorpio has the ability, snakes, to shed their skin entirely and walk out of whatever their old structures. You've gone through probably many lifetimes in this lifetime. That is a very Scorpion thing. And we are at the end of an era where the human condition as we've known it, which is very self-destructive, and has no physical longevity. Like we can't see the long view. We don't know how the planet will survive based on our consumption. We don't know how to stop calling Amazon. We don't know how to hold back our desire for addiction or sexuality or whatever that thing is. It's really out of our hands. This is the first half of my book. It talks about the design faults of the human condition. That is the essence of Scorpio. Once the Scorpion becomes aware that there's this free will button, once we become aware that, yes, we signed up for this, you guys, you have to hear this. You all agreed to be here in 2025, 2026. These next 2 years, 2027, as Saturn enters Aries, there's going to be a very intense energy for the ones that are doing the work, who have given their life over to their soul and their mind is in service to their soul, and they can manage it with that free will button. We're going to be like, why does it feel so quiet? But for the ones who are struggling, and there's many of you listening who haven't made the decision yet to say, I will devote my life to the part that I can't understand, but I know it's called spirit, or it's called praying, or it's called meditating, or I don't know, except that I can feel when I'm in the flow.
Yeah.
And when you know that you're feeling you're in the flow, you'll be with us.
Yeah.
So all the request is for the human condition right now is to not misinterpret what looks awful. I always use the analogy of a woman giving birth. If you hadn't seen it ever before, and you were in the room watching, and she's screaming, you think this was the worst thing that ever happened, and you are helpless. She's screaming on Earth right now. Wow. We are giving birth to a new era, to a new species, to a different framework. The matrix is shifting. I got the willies, but no one talks about it in context to your personal job is to find the calm, like take care of your nervous system, and then listen. What is spirit? Like, you're such a good listener. It's really one of your superpowers. And that's an art, because you can't listen if when you stop and you go to meditate, your mind's driving you nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can only meditate 5 minutes at a time, I tell everybody this, 5 minutes at a time. If you can sit in a circle with a group of men, I love that you do men's work.
Yeah.
If you can go do your yoga and do shavasana at the end of class, if you're doing sound healing, there's a million mediums right now. If you want to study astrology and get your brain trained to stop thinking about all its ego, but learn something, that's the medicine right now is, one, nothing's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know this. And then two, how do I give myself the gift of my spiritual identity, my soul, who's in love with me and she's having the best time? How do I find her? And you've done it. I'm telling you, turned a corner. So as your astrologer, I'm now your astrologer.
Yes, you are.
Something happened. I could see that in the chart this morning. It was in the last year, since last year. You just turned a corner. It's just starting to settle in.
Yeah, I feel that, particularly in the last couple months. I feel like maybe even within 3 weeks, I feel like I woke up, and I recently was taught the Ho'oponopono prayer, and the version that I was taught is I love you, God. I'm sorry. I usually don't cry when I say
cute.
this.
This is so
But
beautiful.
it's meant so much to me. I'm sorry I have not recognized your love and your divine orchestration in every element of my life. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. Thank you. And it's that part.
I've never heard that version.
Isn't that something?
Do it again.
I love you, God. I'm sorry I have not recognized your love and your divine orchestration in every element of my life. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. Thank you.
Oh my God. I can see why you cried. You're just a little more honest than us. Your sensitivity can't not. That's called moon at 29 degrees Cancer. Yeah.
It's that part about the divine orchestration that I finally get. Like before, I'm like, yeah, this is happening for me, not to me. Like I got that intellectually, again, the mind, but I never really felt it. And now everything is through that filter. It's like, I get it. And so when something comes up and there's a trigger, as you said, I felt like I went like a couple months with Peyton without anything. And then last week we had something and it was like, wait a minute, I thought we were good, right? And it happened at night. We're on our way to our son's basketball game. And at the time I didn't recognize it was an old pattern, but I was kind of digging in like I used to, using my strategy, kind of trying to figure out how to get my way to make her happy, but me happier, because I was getting to do both things we're trying to figure out. We get home and I generally don't do this, but I went in to meditate. I'm like, I know there's something here. Like this doesn't feel right. And in the past I would bypass it, turn my back on it, like just try to make nice with her, just to let it go, not be in it. It's like, there's something here for me. And so I meditated on it and I saw the nugget. Now, the old me would have rushed to her and be like, I'm sorry, this is what was going on, like to make it good right then. But I went, again, this is where the discernment came in. It's like we went to bed. We were fine in bed. It was like we kind of calm things, which doesn't generally happen. And I woke up the next morning. I usually wake up before her. I went back, I meditated, and I went fucking layers deeper. And it was like, oh, this was actually the thing. This is why I waited, because now this is the gold. Now this she can trust because it makes sense. And I saw all of it. I saw my part in it. And so she woke up. We're having coffee. It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And I just said, I was thinking a lot about last night. I said, this is like, I'm completely okay letting go of what I wanted. And this is why. I didn't just say, you can have your way.
Control. That's amazing.
I just let it go. And I felt so at peace with it. And wouldn't you freaking know, it was a travel thing that was happening. And we're meant to go do this trip. And I let go of doing the trip. And the universe worked where that trip that friends were taking got moved 2 days, and we get to do the trip now, like perfectly. Like we just threaded the needle. Because I gave up on it. I was like, I don't care.
That's such a big deal for a double Scorpio. They are such control freaks.
Well, they don't want to miss out on anything.
Well, no, they have this insecurity on the inside because they think they're in charge.
Oh,
and when you realize you're not in charge, like no one's in charge. There's someone behind the curtain in charge. But when you really let your ego realize, I am not in charge of my kids, of my marriage, I am totally responsible for my response.
Yes.
And to hold my energy and be the adult in the room. But I can't control these circumstances.
Yes. I have
that's very impressive.
Completely in the field now and just trust. And, I forgot what I was going to say.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That was such a good feeling. I'm completely in the field right now and I trust. Can we just stop there?
Yeah.
This is a sentence that is unbelievably strong. I'm completely in the field, which means I'm letting life have her way. I'm listening deeply. I'm stopping. I'm meditating. What was that? It just happened to me today. There was all this, I'm in Texas. I don't even know. There was like all this traffic, and then 35 things went wrong. I just found out I had a bestseller on USA Today. So all this wave of energy came at me. I was stressing. And then there's too many details, and I got driving to the wrong place. And you know how that is? And then I caught myself. This is how you know. Then you get this little smile on your face, and you're like, who's in charge? Yeah. Like, okay, well, we got to the place in time, and I'm like, it all worked out. And I can't deny, this is Scorpio, acceptance of the human condition. You may be in this peaceful state. I hate to say this. And then something's going to happen. Well, you said it.
Yeah.
And then you know the technology, which is what's in this book. Yeah. How do you find your tendency of your personality? Like yours is to get super intense and controlling and drill down.
Yes.
Mine is to detach and go, I don't care. Like a little detached, little stupid air sign. Like just walk away and just completely disregard and just change my mind anyway. So there's the disassociating people.
I can't do that.
No, you cannot. There's different personality types. It's all in the book. That's why we read the book. What is my style of my propensity, my cute little human nature? Yours is intensity. Then comes the observer, and the 13th sign goes, could you calm down? And then you look up and go, it becomes endearing.
Yes.
Versus don't tell me what to do. Yeah. That's when the ego grabs down. Like don't you dare judge me. I'm judging myself. Like, who is that? Yeah. So this is the mastery of the high road of astrology is your self-awareness starts by studying your personality propensity. Mm-hmm. And you see it lifetime in your marriage. You see it lifetime everywhere. Hello. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you learn this muscle called the 13th sign that goes, let me take a breath. Just give me a minute. I mean, I had to clear this with my poor little assistant in the car. And I said to her, listen, that was Debra the bitch. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to pretend I'm so spiritual that I'm not a bitch. I don't want my human to ever stop crying.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I'm not disappointed.
Yes.
That's the danger of the new age. That's the danger of taking medicine. That's the danger of addiction. That's why we drink. Get this feeling off me. I don't want to do that. Keep the feeling on me. Give me a minute. Yeah. I'll go off by myself. Take a breath. Talk to my best friend, the dog, or the therapist, whoever.
Yeah.
And realize I am so full of shit. I talk about being so calm, and all it took was Texas traffic.
Yeah.
And I was out. Oh, that's right. And I got lost on the way there, and I was out. I watched my whole nervous system. And then it didn't take long, to your point. And that's what the nature of how this matrix will shift. Why will the planet change? Because people like you and I figured out the code of not letting the ego run the ship. And that's what we're suffering from. This planet is addicted to consumption and to the ego's fulfillment. At Amazon, every shopping, every single thing you spend money, every house you buy, every clothes, all of that is your ego. And it's healthy to have one as long as there's somebody watching.
Yeah.
Who is the governor? What happened? You know why there's no government on this planet anymore? Because we stopped governing our own inner world. Mm-hmm. So I've changed the government.
Well, here's this for a little nugget. First of all, like, that whole shift of the mind is a wonderful servant and a terrible master. And I told you, like, that is like, so
ding, 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 ding.
It is right there now for me. As an aside, I was at the Health Optimization Summit here in Austin. It used to be called Paleo FX. It's a bunch of cool biohacking and brands and wellness stuff. And it occurred to me, I'm looking around and like, oh, my friends have these big bags of like stuff that they're getting from all the vendors, right? There's all this cool shit. And I look and all I have is my little mochila that I got from Colombia as a gift, right? And so I haven't put anything in there except the stuff I brought. And I'm like, first thought, should I go get a bag and start getting some stuff? And I was like, I don't need anything. I felt so complete that I wasn't looking for anything.
That's such an amazing position.
I get all the things. I order like extra pairs of sneakers just in case my other one.
Sagittarius.
I get all, I mean, my wife, she's like, why did you order 3 of the same pair?
That's
like, because I love these. And it's just like to have.
Your awareness is on. What you're trying to say is you're awake.
I see it all.
And it's really unusual. And I keep asking, last night I was doing a talk at the in Denver, and I said, I don't really know if I'm awake. And one of my dear friends screamed, Debra. And I was like, oh. And then I wondered, how do you know if you're, I mean, that was a funny moment, but how do we know we're awake? It's when the free will button has enough awareness to go, do I really need all this stuff? That's a very advanced state, Cal.
It feels like it. And it's like kind of odd to talk about. It's certainly, I mean, I talk about a lot of things on the podcast, but this is just like new territory. There are people that I've talked to about it that I feel I can hold it and understand it. And
it's just something for us to aspire towards. And it will, I think one of the gifts of double Scorpio is you've paid your dues. The amount of pain this lifetime, you learn from the most painful lessons. There's nothing subtle about you.
And people, that's the thing that made me feel so seen, is that no one knows any of that. No one knows like
your
the pain.
Wife knows that.
She does.
But it's hard to go in and see it. It's a secret world you live in.
Yes, I keep it hidden.
And it's the human condition. Can we talk about that? How many people are secretly lonely? How many people really feel misunderstood, that no one really loves them? This is a deep wound that lives in the collective psyche, which is why we're suffering. How many people feel like they don't really know if anyone will ever be close to them except for the dog? Like, who really cares? Who really has your back? These are all symptoms. Did your parents even get you? Like, did they ever really see you? Who in the world has seen you? It's so beautiful. It's the aching and the longing of the soul that wants nothing more than for the ego to come by and say, I do love you. And I'm sorry for all the noises and all the drama that I used to stay awake. I'm getting more and more willing to stay awake just by the softest call. Just whisper my name and I'll be there. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
That's the gift of almost turning 70.
Well,
just whisper my name. Just whisper my name and I'll be available.
Tell me this about your experience, because what I found is when those triggers come up, now I don't have all the ego or whatever, the ruminating. Yes, it's so quiet now that when the thing happens last week with Peyton, I get to sit with it. And then as I do my meditation, I get to chuckle like, oh my God, look at you. You were afraid of missing out. That's that old pattern.
It's so cute. It's the formula that I teach everyone. You've got to stop. You've got to let the thing happen. Reactivity. Please don't stop being human. Yeah. You're all gonna, can I swear? You're all gonna fuck up. It's just, I wanted to call this book You're Fucked Up and I Still Like It. But they wouldn't let me.
It's a great subtitle.
But they wouldn't let me. You're
really?
fucked up and I still like you. So everyone's gonna have that. And then as soon as you get to the muscle that you're talking about as a practice, okay, I just did that. I reacted. And you step off and you go into meditation. It can be for 10 minutes. You can journal. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you'll know, because this little smile comes out and you go, that's so cute. I'm such a wreck. Like, I'm such a funny little person. And then and I like your story. Then you take a few more minutes before you actually share it, because I've made the mistake of doing this too soon. And then you wait and then you go, oh, now I really get it. And then when you go back to the person, you say just that prayer, I'm so glad life organized that. It was a chance for me to take one for the team.
And that's it. And I got to share that. Like, I'm so glad this came up because.
And then it all worked out.
Oh my God. That all, I mean, it was just. It's like this reminder, like just let go.
This is so your chart. Your chart is built because of the odd, which we won't talk about. It's very technical, but it's an unusual aspect. It's about the dancer. Like if you're willing to flow, I'm talking about you, not all of us can do this, and let life have her way with you without an agenda, which will drive your wife crazy, because you will have this ability to be spontaneously matching the energy and then paying attention when you stop and listen and get the download. It's like being high when you're straight. It's like you're high because you're getting downloads because you spent the time to be quiet. That's like, who doesn't want to be high all day?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds weird, but you
for
get
real.
my point.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. I mean, that's why people are addicted, because it's Neptune. They want to come off the planet to understand this difficult question that we've addressed. What the fuck is going on down here? Yeah. Said the astrologer. Excuse me. There are so many people with the strangest stories. I hear them for almost 50 years. And what I discovered was everyone's innocent. They're all trying to figure this thing out and they don't ask the right questions.
And that's what I came down to finally. You know, the old, he's doing the best he could. It's like, I actually see that now.
It's true.
It is so true in every case.
But until you have that Hawaiian prayer that I love so much, where you've really forgiven, I forgive myself.
That's the other one. Yeah. That I forgive myself is such an important piece to that.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm quirky.
I can tell.
I look really like, I don't even know. I'm just like old and young. and I'm perky and I'm energetic and I'm gifted with the words.
Yeah.
And then there's the parts of me that are like, wow. I mean, it's embarrassing. I have a very strong moon in Aries. When I get pissed off and I'm in the car, I swear.
You do.
And then I turn my observer and I go, oh, that was fun. And then sometimes I've learned it and turned it into humor. Like, that was the funniest thing you just did, but it's very sarcastic. The point is my human never goes away.
Yeah.
And you'll say the same. And the gift of this process of where you're going, evolving, is keep your hand on the human. Let the human dimension irritate you and be upset. Don't ever make it wrong.
Well, I just got the affirmation that how important it is because I was human last week and I got to release an old pattern. Oh, look at you. You're afraid of missing out again. Like, oh, like, can you believe that? And it's like, I lived seasons where I didn't want to miss anything. And it was just everything I went to, nothing fed it like I thought it was going to, but I still kept going back to the well, going to all the things. And it just came up as like, oh, wow, that's that old pattern. It's like, let's work with that. And like, now that I know who I am, it's like, I had said, one of the ways I kind of like articulated to myself was, I think they were in Ibiza last year and I wasn't there and I was fine. So like, if I don't go this year, I'm fine too.
This is the observer. So it's giving you all the comfort, trying to let go. The art of this lifetime, said the Buddhist, all suffering comes from attachment. So the attachment, I really call myself out. I want this. I want to go there with them. I don't want to miss anything. I want that partner. I want this love. Like all of that attachment. And it's not easy. Announcement. It's an art.
Yeah.
To say, what would Buddha, I have a thing for Buddhism. I have many lifetimes that I've had chanting the same chant.
Really?
Over and over. I listen to my poor kids. I listen to the same music. It's very comforting to me.
Yeah.
But it gave me the gift, what the Buddha taught us, this whole message. Let go.
I love the concept that it's both. And just holding both of those and just like really leaning into that, not again intellectually. Now I just see both. It's like, yeah, it's all the things. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's
all the things, and that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, I feel like we've done a really good podcast. I'm one of those people that really do not understand how people listen for hours.
Well, we're going to close with one last
piece. Can I ask a question? How does that go?
Yeah.
People can listen for hours. I'm interested because my Gemini has a very short attention span.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's your answer. But
yeah, for me, that's right. For other people, they can really let it's like candy.
3 hours. Like, look, so I'll give you an example. When I was in my ceremony season, when it was fucking hard and I didn't want to read any self-help. I didn't want to listen to podcasts that I would listen to comedy. I would, for the entire day, I would distract myself with things that were just fun. I wasn't learning anything, but it was like my way that was my drug. And so I could do that for hours. Today, I don't have time to listen to any bit of any podcast because there's so much coming in and it's like, that's a waste of my time.
Oh,
it's very interesting. People send me stuff. I'm like, I won't even watch Instagram clips that people send me.
What was the change?
It's just this thing. I'm just like, it's discernment. And no judgment against anybody who watches Instagram clips, but I don't even watch the funny ones.
Instagram clips, but
every now and then I do.
But no, what I see here, you're doing the high road of your chart. You're letting your mind really be a vessel of holiness. Like you're not stimulating it for its own sake.
No.
But that's hard for us. You're at a very advanced level. The people that feel like they don't know how to get their minds to be quiet, raise your hand. The people that feel like there's a nervousness in their system, they're trying to regulate it by using stimulus.
Yeah.
When you get to the highest level of the mind where it's at peace, that's just totally distracting.
I won't read a book right now. There's one I'm listening to that, I forget the title, but the guy's been walking with Archangel Michael for years. And
you have totally reached a level. They call this in the esoteric law, you're in the third initiation, which is when they stop using books The first initiation is about the body, the mastery of the physical realm. That could be 10 lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
The second initiation is the emotional body and dealing with trauma and drama and the kids and the family and the health and all the human. We spend a lot of time on the second initiation. We're in one as a collective, like the emotional body is being strained on planet Earth. The third initiation is when the mind stops. No more books. After they've received all these downloads through their emotional wisdom, they say stop. And they become a vessel. This was Einstein. They become a vessel to let stuff come through them, but they don't need to collect anything. They're just an empty vessel. Third initiation. So that's where you're at. It's very unusual.
Yeah, I would not read a book right now, except this one, which is
this one?
And this one, of course. I'm taking that with me to Italy tomorrow.
You're going to have so much fun reading this.
I know. So to your point, though, it's like, I have so many books that people keep sending me. Like, I love all the topics. I'm not going to get mired in reading.
Your life where you're mastering your mind.
It's just here. It's all here for me.
That's not true for everybody, but that's true for you, Cal.
There's nothing for me to learn in that sense. It's like, it's just right now, it's just to play with the feel, like what's happening and like, I'm learning so much.
That's so much for your era because you're progressed moons in water. So you're in depth. But that's not true for all of you. And this is a really important game. No comparisonitis. Oof. He is reaching a level of consciousness that is your nature as a triple water sign to really let yourself be the receiver. Mm-hmm. I'm in a different era. I have been reading and writing. I just wrote another book that comes out. I just wrote another book.
Wait, another one after this?
After this. It just finished. I just got the hard copy today.
What?
It's about the tarot. Wait till you hear this one. But I'm telling you, I'm in the opposite of him. He's in like, I'm in an air cycle. I've been writing and reading and collecting information and watching podcasts, and I'm completely consumed. I'm so excited about all these cool podcasts that I get to be on.
Yes.
So it goes in cycles. Announcement. Astrology has eras and seasons, and you can study them.
In this, where can you study them?
I have a school. Do you know about this?
Let's hear it.
Twice a year, September and January. Only 10 people in a room. We use your chart, like your chart's so crazy. The chart comes up, you see your chart, and the teacher's been prepared because they studied your chart before you got there. And we teach in bite-sized bits. So by the time you finish the 6th class, you're speaking astrology and you're like, your mind's going, it's like total food for all you intellects. Cut. Then you go to level 2 and you learn how to do a reading. And when you graduate from level 2, another 6-week class studying your chart, you're ready to do readings.
Wow.
And I have 8,000 students that have come through our school.
Is that the one Salim came through?
Yes.
Yes.
And they come out, whether they remember it or not, they feel comfort inside themselves to say, he's triple water. Your function this life is to turn off the mind. I am double air. I can't stop if I wanted to. And I've learned how to just do short meditations because he's built for deep stillness. Good to know.
That is good to know. I felt like that was a spell too. It's like, okay, you can go deeper.
You are
thank
allowed.
You for that.
Yes, I'm so impressed and I'm so proud and I'm so thankful we've met.
Me too.
And whoever organizes all this and whoever's watching this, for you too, how beautiful is the organization? To that prayer, the choreographer, they don't get enough credit.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The invisible ones that are in the room.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I did have one question. Do you think we have time for you to share your Terrence McKenna story?
Yes, because that was a major turning point. See, it's a secret. So this is like in the 90s. You probably weren't born.
What?
I got a personal.
71.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Okay, you were.
That's right. You looked at my chart.
Yes. So there's a bunch of maybe I want to say 12 people were invited. Don't ask me how this happened, to a Frank Lloyd Wright home on the Big Island of Hawaii, Big Island, with Terrence McKenna, and these 12 people, and I was included. How did that happen? So I sat. It was not unlike this. I think I'm having memories because your space is so similar to the architect. And we're sitting in a circle together. And for 7 days, every morning, I didn't know who he was. He is a legend, as we all know.
Yeah.
He's a walking mushroom. Like he opened his mouth and I was like, I didn't understand who he was, but he is a energetic, unique creature, Scorpio.
Really?
Hello.
Yeah.
And by the 5th day, I was the one in the room because I'm very perky, as you probably noticed. I'm like this. People are falling asleep. He talks for probably 5 hours at a time.
Wow.
But I found out he was high.
Okay.
I didn't find that out till the end because I was like, what is happening? And I would just take me. And finally he turned to me and he goes, what's with you? You're so perky. Like he was like, everyone's fine. I'm like this the whole time. Excuse me. I got so much. And you know that he had downloaded on one of his trips, the I Ching, to talk about the level of consciousness from the beginning of time through the dinosaurs, through the Renaissance, through Jesus, through Buddha, all the way till now. He told me a story. The whole room was there, and he basically described that at this era, from the 1990s, end of 90s onward, we were in an exponential curve of change that was so radical. The human brain had never seen it before. That's why he said the phones, we didn't have at that time, the internet or the phones. He said it's going to go so fast and so hard that people are going to think it's the weirdest times we've ever lived. And I was in the room. And then I'm going to tell you the best part. Ready? Because as I told you, I'm very minimal. I've probably done 4 or 5 mushroom trips in my whole life. Mm-hmm. One of them was Terrence McKenna. At the end of the 5th day, I said to everyone, I'm so sick of listening to this guy talk. We need some mushrooms. And they were like, this isn't appropriate, because they were all trying to do this. They were like very big wig people. How I got invited. So I said, oh no, I'm taking mushrooms. There was one woman there from Hawaii. I said, do you know where? Yeah, I do. Next morning, they're stewing up the mushrooms. I drink the mushroom tea. Only me and her. Terrence McKenna's watching us the whole time. And I got a couple downloads. And one of them was, there are some people you can't get rid of. This is what came through, and I've never left this behind. Think about in your life, from Peyton to the kids, to those best friends, there are some people you can't get rid of. I've never left that behind. And if you think about it, you'll know there are some people in your life that have been with you since the beginning of time, and we're lucky they're there, even if they're annoying. And the second one, the second one I asked was, please tell me the function of relationship. And they said, it's to cuddle. That the reason why we do relationship is for the physical touch at night when you're sleeping. The ability to have someone in your energy body, that is what regulates the nervous system. I was like, huh? But another one that I never forgot. So thank you for asking. Terrence McKenna was one of my heroes. I ended up teaching. I taught at Esalen, and he was there at the same time. And we spent a couple of days together, just coincidentally, right before he passed.
Wow.
But I really can say, having been with that legend, that his promise this lifetime to be a conduit, Scorpio, between the worlds of Neptune, I got the words, it's exactly what you do, to be the bridge between inviting us to understand that world, but bring it home.
Like truth bombs.
It's exactly what you're doing.
I've often just said, I feel like I'm the bridging worlds.
That's what you're here for.
There's so many different worlds, but now it's a different world.
Okay, so that's Neptune.
I absolutely
Mercury,
feel that.
100%. And that's why he was here. And that's a lot of what I do. I connect the stars with the humans. Yeah. So thank you for asking.
Thank you.
I know. I do feel like I know you or knew you before I knew you.
Hell yeah. How can people find you?
Well, there's this thing called the internet that Terrence told me about. And he said, and then when he said it, I was like, what is that? None of us knew what cyberspace was when he spoke it. He was way ahead of his time. But anyways, on the internet, in case any of you have a computer, it's Debra Silverman. It's just 3 words, Debra Silverman Astrology. There's on the Instagram and on TikTok and on Facebook and on, I'm kind of.
You're on all the things.
Yeah, because I'm looking to create students. My dream is for people to study astrology and not think of it as something woo-woo. It's not, as you saw today, I speak it in such practical terms.
Oh my gosh.
That it got you immediately.
Yes.
So that's the difference. Not to say that I don't love all of the astrology.
Yeah.
I just wrote a book that I'm hoping that lots of people will read, that is using the language of the stars to give us back the compassion from seeing from the eyes of love.
I love that. What a gift you are. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
About you.
Oh my gosh, what a treat. Well, Lindsay will link to all that in the show notes, so don't worry if people.
And I heard what a great interviewer you were, and it's true.
Oh,
you have a great reputation.
Great, thank you. That means a lot. I feel like it's just only getting better.
It is.
Now I just feel like open up. Like I really can't wait to sit down with people because now I can really be present.
It's so true.
Yeah. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. We'll see you next time.